Okay, I'm talking here with David Flaherty of Magellan Strategies here at the RNC meeting. Now, David, your company does a lot with statistics and polling and finding voters. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we do survey research, we do micro-targeting and modeling, predictive analytics, predict people's, political opinions through statistics and large surveys.
So you have, through your statistics, a grasp of the voter and how the voter is and where the voter is.
Absolutely.
First of all, with the last election, we heard a lot about the Republican failure of Orca.
Yes.
What are the things that the GOP need to look at this time around to make sure they can properly identify the voters who support them, who are there?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, like Orca, as we understand, was a system that didn't work well on election day. It wasn't tested. That was more of a software platform and problem. Coming out of 2012, though, and to have better accurate surveys and polling, and us really understanding where public sentiment is for Republican candidates or conservative candidates, it's about coverage. And what I mean by coverage is voters that don't have a landline phone. You can only get them on the cell phone, or if they don't have a cell phone, you can only get them online. Expanding your coverage of all pollsters in our community, or the Republican and conservative community, you're going to want to have multiple modes of interviewing so that more people can have an opportunity to participate in a survey, and therefore it's a lot more accurate because we're getting folks that are hard to reach outside of the phone.
Now, is it more about getting the proper surveys or finding the Republican voters in a community? That really is the key from what you see.
Well, it is. What it really is it's not so black and white where, like, I'm the Republican and I'm the Democrat. I think we all know, based on our voter files and our vote histories, people's primary vote history, this person's a Republican, this is a Democrat. We don't know if they're going to be voting or not, but those are in those camps. To find the persuadable voters, or even sort of the closet Republicans, if you will, or the quiet Republicans, it will involve statistics and a lot of other methods to identify them, turn them out, and so that in 2014, we get the most support we can for Republican candidates.
Is there a general thing that, let's say here in Massachusetts, obviously this is a very blue state, although we have a couple of very big red counties that are split into several districts.
Sure.
Oh, where around here did you go?
I grew up in Wellesley, Massachusetts. Wellesley High School, class of '87.
I'm from Fitchburg myself.
Okay, all right.
So you know where I'm from, which is a frightening thing, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. It's about 14% Republican, the whole state. Yeah.
So if you were advising a Republican in Massachusetts and looking at the statistics, what should they be looking at using, for example, your platform to find what to do?
Sure. No, it's actually there's a lot of things, because even though roughly 70% of the state, 75% are registered Democrats, we've seen Republicans successfully win statewide office here. Going back to Romney in 2002, where we had a string of governors for a while. Obviously, Scott Brown, he came up short, obviously, in his Senate race on his re-elect. But the bottom line is there are about 40% of Democrats that don't vote with their party. They are more fiscal conservatives in the Republican message. Modeling and predictive analytics, we can actually figure out and project and estimate this person based on these responses with this background, whether they rent or own their home, all sorts of consumer data points, helps us cluster and identify those, closet Republicans that are registered as Democrats.
And is that really what Magellan Services does? It takes the data, analyzes it, and,
absolutely,
and helps out individual candidates in various states?
Yes, that's what we do. We very large interviews or surveys of 5,000 to 6,000 individuals, and then what we do is we have all sorts. We collect as much data as we can about individuals. There's consumer data that's available, and we're talking about data that is publicly available. We're not talking about NSA kind of crazy stuff, if you know what I mean. And basically through that, there's basically a machine learning software or modeling software that looks for relationships between individuals based on the survey and identifies and projects and predicts these people look a lot alike. Even though we never spoke to them, we're going to give it a 75% confidence level that they feel this way about taxes or social issues or whatever issues we may want to cover.
And then you direct your advertising, your direct mail and stuff based on those statistics?
Yes. And after the model's done, though, we also go into the field and validate and make sure, okay, we didn't talk to these people in the first survey, but we're projecting that they're very strong, let's say, on gun control or lower taxes. We go out and re-interview a pocket randomly selected, so we know that, yep, the model is working correctly, we're getting the right responses back. But yes, then you go and target, and the campaign then has more issues to talk about and can target folks much better that they normally wouldn't have been able to, because all they would have seen on a regular voter file was, like, I only see this person as a registered Democrat. I have no idea that they're a Republican or that they're fiscally conservative, if you will. The modeling allows you to get into that population and communicate and motivate people for your candidate that you normally would not have been able to.
So, in other words, you can't persuade people unless you find something in common first. And
Absolutely.
And your software helps people do that.
Yes.
Where can people find more information about this?
It's, you can go to our website at magellanstrategies.com, and that's M as in Mary, A-G-E-L-L-A-N, strategies.com.
All right, thank you very much for your time.